to Fundamental Boxing. My name is Chris Getz. We're going to cover how to box, how to stand when you're boxing, how to guard yourself, how to move around with your feet. We're going to talk about the fundamental punches, the fundamental defenses. So let's start with the beginning. This is how to stand in boxing. So you want your feet about shoulder width apart when you're standing. Go about this far apart. Keep your feet at a normal angle, just slightly outward this way, not too much. Step back with your right foot. Okay, it's going to be about the same depth that you stepped sideways. Okay, turn your stance about this far, and your feet should point pretty much to about this direction, which would be about 1:30 on the clock. 12 o'clock being directly in front of me, and 3 o'clock being on my side. My feet are pointing to 1:30. Now, my back heel is up off the ground, and my knees are bent. And I sit down in my stance. Now, it's very important I have good posture and I'm very stable. I want to be relaxed and mobile, but I want to have a very stable position. So I want to keep my hips turned out a little bit. I want to keep my torso very straight, my stomach flat. See, I'm almost tucking my hips up while I'm sitting out. So I'm sitting out with my hips, but I'm keeping my hips rolled forward in order to keep my stomach flat. I'm going to bring my left hand up here to guard myself. This is my guard hand. I'm going to keep myself sideways as I can so I can block with my shoulder as well, but my hand is my guard hand. I'm going to block my body with my elbow. I'm going to favor the face like this. Okay, I don't want to get hit in the face. Keep my chin down. I'm going to hold my right hand here, ready to defend, but also ready to punch. So this is going to be my counter. So I have my defense here, and I have my counter with my right hand. I'm going to use my left hand sort of like a shield. In fact, if you think about it, it's almost like I'm putting my hand into a shield. And I'm holding it this way. When you defend, you want to make sure you're in a very stable position. You have good leverage. So make sure you sit down a little bit. You can go from the other extreme and actually go all the way down in your stance like this. Like you're getting ready to have a three-point stance in football, and then kind of raise up this way. Okay, you can find your stance like that because I want you seated. I want you rooted in your stance this way. Left hand up, covering the face, elbow in, very straight line vertically. My right hand is here. Okay, elbow is covering my liver. Now I'm going to favor defending my face with this hand. I'm going to cover blocking my body with this arm, with my elbow, and I'm going to attack with this hand. So I'm going to defend and attack. Later we're going to cover some other defensive positions where you can bring the right hand around as a defense and use your left hand to counter. We're going to have you go like this also, where you drop your left hand slightly and you block with your backhand. So you're going to block things from this side with your backhand, which is a little bit more advanced. Right now, as the attack comes in on our left side, we're going to defend with the left hand, have the right hand here ready to counter. Let's look at our boxing stance from the side angle. So I'm going to face this way. I have to make sure I'm facing this direction with shoulder width apart in my feet. I'm step back like this, and I turn sideways. Now my left hand is the hand that's guarding. My right hand is here. Bend your knees, sit down like this. You may be able to see my hips kind of rolled out a little bit. So I want to keep that leverage position. Just like I'm going to use my shoulder to push something with. Left hand up here, right hand like this. Now you could have your weight shifted forward at times, or you could have it shifted back. But I want you to try to make sure you are stable in the middle, between both legs. Now let's talk about the fundamental footwork of boxing. Starting your stance, shoulder width apart, stepping back, turning sideways, feet point up about 130, left hand up, right hand here, sitting back with leverage, and off the back heel a little bit. And we're going to drive forward. The first thing we're going to do is step forward. So we're up off the back heel a little bit, and we're ready to spring in. So we're going to step forward with the left foot, and now we're going to come back. I'm going to step forward and come back. I can do the same thing going backwards. I'm going to push off my front foot, push my back foot back, and now return. So I go back, I move the back foot first. If I go forward, I move the forward foot first. Okay, and back. Now that's a half step. We're going to take a full step forward. We're going to step forward with the left foot and bring the back foot forward the same distance. Now we'll return. We'll go back foot and forward foot. So forward foot first. Then my left foot moves about 6 inches. My right foot is going to move the same distance. So they're equal steps. Going backward, 2 equal steps. And I refer to that as a full step. That's a full step forward. This is a full step back. Now the same rule applies if we're going from side to side. If you're going to go to your left, you're going to move your left foot first. If you're going to go to your right, you're going to move your right foot first. So we're going to take a full step to our left. We're going to go left foot, right foot. And then we'll return right foot, left foot. Let's take a look at that again. Going to the left, left foot, right foot. Same dimensions, same depth, same knees bent. And then I move to my right, right foot, left foot. Now all this footwork should be done slowly to learn it. Make sure you're consistent with your footwork, but then you start to speed up. Bend down your knees. Now we're going to push off the back foot. So the drive comes off the back foot. We're going to move forward. Full step forward. Full step back. Full step forward. Full step back. Let's do a step to the left and a step to the right. Step to the left, step to the right. Now, let's go back and forward. So we'll go back and forward this way. Back and forward. We can go to the right and return. Now we can move the right foot first. To the right and return. Let's talk about how we may apply this particular footwork against a real situation. I could step in and decide that it's not a good time to punch and I have to jump right back out. So I can come in and get back out. Come in and get back out. So I want to make that quick. I want to go forward and back. Forward and back. Going back, I may be avoiding a punch. So I may avoid a punch, step back, and then I return. I return right away, try to capitalize on the person missing. Step back and return. So back and forward. When I step back, I'm prepared to move back in again. So I'm prepared to come right back. I don't want to step back and have my weight off my legs, leaning back this way, and then have to regroup to move forward. I want to be prepared to come right back in. Same when I'm going forward, prepared to come right back out. Back. Now we can do it to the left. We can go to the left also. So we go left foot, right foot. If we go to the right, we're going to go right foot, left foot. So let's go to the left and we'll return to the center. So go left and return. Left and return. Now we're going to do the same thing going to the right. To the right and return. To the right and return. Now, practical applications of this type of footwork is to avoid a straight-on attack. Almost like a matador and a bull. You're going to sidestep it and let him go this way. So I'm going to move to the left, let my opponent go past me, and maybe punch with the right hand. And now I'm going to return. So I go to the left, let the person go past me, and take advantage of that. So I want to practice good footwork, so that's automatic. Step to the left, and then return. Step to the left, and return. Okay, and for the same thing, we can move to the right. We can move this way and avoid our opponent from this side. So as our opponent comes into us, we move to this side and return. As I move to this side, I can open a new line attack with my left hand and return. Okay, so let's do a drill where we review all four directions. We'll go forward and back, or forward and back to the center, back and return to the center, to the left and return to the center, and then to the right and return to the center. And we'll do it slowly a few times, then we'll start to speed up, and you can practice along with it. Hands up here, bend your knees, get in a good low stance, make sure you have nice leverage, hands are up, ready to spring. Okay, spring forward and return. Forward and return. Let's go back. We'll go back and return. Back and return. Right? Test yourself a little bit from time to time. See how fast you can move. If you start to fall apart with your footwork, slow it down. Slow it down. And then speed it up again. Now we're going to go to the left and return right away. To the left and return. To the left and return. And now we're going to move to the right and return. To the right and return. Okay, the whole drill, slowly. Forward and back, back and forward. To the left and to the center, to the right and to the center. Forward and back and forward, left and center, right and center. Forward, back forward, left center, right center. Okay, a little faster. These are some common mistakes with your stance and your footwork that people make that can actually put them in peril in a situation with their boxing. So far, shoulder width apart, and we turn back this way. Now, the reason we make an emphasis on being shoulder width apart, let's go back over that, is because we want to be in a very stable position. So when we go back here, this is where you're going to be when you're punching with your right hand. And this is your last line of defense. So you got to be in a position where you always strike the guy strong with your right hand. So you need to have your stance like this. Sometimes, however, when you stand like this, you could be very exposed. So you don't want to be too wide in your stance. You can be more vulnerable. So let me go back over how we found our stance. We went back this way, and we turned sideways to be more defensive. We have the left side in front of us, the distance of our shoulder even to keep us between the opponent and myself. Now when I go to punch, I have to turn forward. Now I'm going to expose myself while I'm punching. That's just part of attacking somebody. So you have to be careful that you're not overexposed and too wide of a stance. So too wide of a stance is a very common problem in the beginning. The second common problem is for people to be too narrow. So when I'm too narrow like this, I can't really turn and get a good right hand off. I can't get those hips around, and I'm not in a stable position. I'm going to be easily thrown off balance. So I have to find a very fine line between being just right and too wide or too narrow. So it's shoulder width. So review that several times. Get your stance shoulder width, and step back about shoulder width and distance, and turn. Get down on your knees. You want to keep your knees bent, be really stable. This brings us into the next mistake people make commonly, and that is be too wide in their stance, because they're looking for stability. They're trying to get low. So instead of bending their knees, they're just widening their feet. Now this makes you stable, but it makes you slow. You can't move around. You lack mobility. You're also going to lack a little bit of power because I can't really turn my hips as well. So I can't get a full rotation. I have to have my feet comfortably underneath me, shoulder width apart, shoulder width in depth. So when I turn, it's going to facilitate that turn of my body, facilitate that turn. So common mistakes, and that's going to be being too narrow or being too wide and being too deep. And we should mention you can be too narrow, too narrow and too small, too close together like this. This will, give you a lot of mobility. You can run away really quickly, but you would lack any type of defensive power. So you want to get at least where you have ability to bend your knees this way. Now, when people are moving around, a common mistake is not only to move one foot all the time and get wider and wider. Make sure as you do your steps, you're dragging your other foot around, somewhat reluctantly. Let's look at that from the side, because this is another common mistake. People are moving their stance. You want to drag the back leg. It wants to come up somewhat reluctantly. You step out that left foot, and you have to kind of pull that right foot up with you. If you anticipate the fact that you're going to step too much, you take the first step and you bring the right foot up too much, you're going to throw your weight back. And you're going to be not able to deliver any power or hurt your opponent and be very vulnerable yourself because you can be knocked off balance. So how you move your feet is also important. You want to push that first foot out. You want to push it out, and then you want to pull the back foot up. When I go backwards, I want to push that back foot back, and I want to pull my forward foot. So there's a push and a pull. So like how you approach your step work or how you intend it, it's going to affect how you do it, whether you do it correctly. We have other mistakes. While people are moving around, they start to cross their feet this way. We talked about how that is dangerous. You're going to be narrow. People go this way and they get too square when they're shuffling to the right. So make sure as you shuffle, you keep your angle consistent. When I shuffle to my right, and as you shuffle around somebody, that's going to change. As you change your angle to them, or as you move to your right, that angle changes. You have to adjust. When you go to your left, you have to adjust. Now, because you're moving in a circle, your right foot may have to move a little bit extra in order to catch that right line. Or if you move over with your right foot, you may have to move a little bit extra. Just pay attention to where your opponent is and try to line up nice and sideways. You want to control your footwork, but you also have to control your upper body. So now that we're in our stance and we're very consistent with our footwork, we move in the correct order, whether we're going forward or back, to the left or to the right, and we do that automatically. I have to pay attention to how I'm standing. I don't want to be leaning back. When I lean back, I put my weight on my heels and I'm very vulnerable. So if you lean up this way, you're going to get hit. You got to stay in this somewhat crouched position. A little bit of a tilt forward, but not much. If you lean forward too much, you're going to be pulled off balance. If someone puts their hand on top of your head, or if they catch you with an uppercut underneath, you're going to be vulnerable. So you have to find a balanced position this way. Now, we also could be out of line sort of like this, where the left hip is up too high, where the right hip is up too high, where the left hip is down too low. So always make sure that you're nice and straight like this. Your hips here are sort of trying to form a level mesa that your body's stacked on top of. So you're moving it around much like the turret of a tank. So a tank moves around, has that turret on top. That's how you want to move your body. Keep your body well poised. That brings up another point. Well poised in your body, not changing your height. Don't give away your movement by changing your height. It's very easy to come up. It's very easy to come up when you move forward. It's very easy to come up when you move back. You want to sit down. When you come forward, you don't want to give away your movement, so you don't want to go up. If I go up, you're going to see it. I want to stay level. You're not going to pick up that depth change as much. You're going to pick up this or this if I go wide, but just coming in like this, you're not going to pick up very well. When I go back, I got to stay low. I got to stay low because I need that leverage down here. I need to sit down in order to defend that person. He's got a little momentum if he's coming forward. So when I step back, I don't want to come up and let my opponent kind of get underneath me and push me back, and continue to push me back. I won't get any effective strikes off, and he'll be able to hit me effectively. So as you move back, you want to stay down low also. So for being stable, you want to keep your height level, and for not being detected, you want to keep your height level. So work on that body posture. You're always keeping your ribs kind of compressed, your back straight, your hands in here, chin down. Look out the top of your eyes. So if you do get hit, you're going to get hit on the top of your head right here, where you would head a soccer ball, right here. Hello, this is Shane Agnew. He's going to help me demonstrate the fundamental footwork with an opponent, and in this case, a partner. Shane's going to be my partner. So this is going to be the way I function when I'm in the ring with a sparring partner or with an opponent. So get in your stance. So we'll start this way. Yeah, let's go over how we found our stance. We go shoulder width with our feet this way, and then you step back through right foot. Good. And you turn a little sideways like that. That's good. That's our stance. Now let me demonstrate some of the things I was doing. One, I'm a little far away from Shane, so I'm going to just kind of sneak forward, and I'm going to use my proper footwork to do that. Now I'm just going to show you how to step in, and I come back. So I step in, and I come back. And that's my half step. And that's important to remember because we're going to talk about a half step later on in the series. So I'm going to step in and come back like that. Now, I can step away from him, so if he's punched me, I can move back this way. I can move back. I can take a full step forward, okay, and then return. A full step forward, and return. And then a back step. Full step back, and return. Full step back, and return. Now, we can work with a partner where actually he works on his footwork as I work on mine. So we want to maintain this distance. We feel comfortable. I feel just out of his range. He feels just out of mine. But he's not so far away that I can't press on him and actually score. So what I want to do is to sort of maintain this distance. And he wants to maintain this distance. So when I step in, he's going to step back with his right foot. So let's do the half step. Half step and then return. Good. Let's try to stay the same distance apart. Step and return. Good. And let's stay low. Let's get down a little lower. Step and return. Okay. And as Shane moves forward, I'll move back with my right foot. So move forward and return. Good. And move back and return. Just a little helpful reminder. Stay off that back heel even as you step back. So step in and return. Good. Now let's do a full step. You'll take a full step back. I'll take a full step in. Okay, ready? Move. And then move. Good. Okay, just on our own count. Ready? Go. Good. Let's do it. Let's say, come back. Let's do that. We'll go back and forth 3 times. All right, and that's going to be the exact same footwork even if he initiates the movement. So let's have Shane step forward, take a full step forward. I'll take a full step back, and now you go and return. Good. Let's do that 3 times. Good. Now, let's make it a little bit more complicated. You take 2 steps back, I'll take 2 steps forward, and then I'll retreat 2 steps. Okay, so 2 steps, and then 2 steps back. 2 steps back, right, for you, and 2 steps forward for you, and I'll go back, right. So let's go back and forth. Let's do that 3 times. Good. All right. Stay right here. Move in. Now we have to move to the left and the right. As I move to my left, he's going to move to his right. Move to your right. There you go. Good. And let's return. Okay. Move to your right. And return. Good. Now this time I'll go to my right first. So I'll step to my right and you step to your left. Good. And let's return. And return. Okay, take 2 steps to your right. I'll take 2 steps to my left. And return. Good. One more time. And return. Good. So we're maintaining the same angle and we're maintaining the same distance. Even if we go sideways or forward. Everything stays the same. Now we're going to circle. I'm going to circle to my left. He's going to circle to his left. So start moving to your left. Okay, let's stop right here. Move back a little bit. Okay, now I'll move to my right, you move to your right. Stop. Good. All right, very good. So we did forward and back. So go back and return. I'll go forward and return. Okay? Good. Very good. Now, see, change very fast. That's good. That makes me be a little faster. Now, you don't want to compete, very friendly with your partner. You want to try to work together. It's a lot like synchronized an event here. It's synchronized. You want to work, make sure he's successful. You both be successful at the same time. There's a drill you can have yourself do. Why don't you back up just 1 step? Good. Let me get a cone. Now you can place a cone or any piece of equipment on a floor. Another real popular thing to do is actually to paint lines on the floor. You paint a circle. So let's imagine a circle around this cone. Okay, just an equal circle this way. Now that's the path your left foot's going to travel as it goes around. Your right foot is going to be on a circle out here, so a wider circle that goes around the same cone. So his feet are moving in a parallel path. So circle to your left. Imagine your left foot has to stay on this line. Okay, go ahead and circle. Good. Stop. Right, now it'll help maintain the correct distance, and it'll make it easier for him to keep the correct angle. He wants to keep that left side turned in. As he moves around, it's very easy, because the feet are not moving equal steps, that you end up being crossed one way or too wide. So you have to always check that. If I take this cone, I draw a line straight back, his toes should just be on one side, and his back heel should just be on the other, or even on the same line. That would be good. Okay? So let's watch that again. At any point that you move around this cone, you have to make sure you line up the same way. Okay, so move around the cone. Good, that's it. A little bigger circle. A little bigger circle. Very good. Good. Nice and smooth. Make it nice and smooth. Good. Just getting a rhythm. Keep going. Good. A little faster. There you go. Keep going. A couple more laps. This is a good exercise. You can do this for several minutes at a time, 2 or 3 minutes, to develop your endurance. All right, be careful you're moving your feet correct. Keep going. That's it. Just every once in a while, look down, check your feet out, and then look back up. Okay, now move to your right. Circle to your right. Good. And draw the same circles with your feet. So your right foot's on the outside circle, and your left foot's on the inside circle. Very good. Keep moving. That's it. Smooth it out a little bit. Make it nice and smooth, nice and fluid. You want to be fluid. Just move a little faster. That's it. Keep your height level. Keep your height level. Very good. That looks a lot better. So same thing going to the sides. You want to stay nice and level. One more time to the left. Now, this is one of the most important drills you can do. First, you have to perfect going straight forward and straight to the side. But then you want to be able to circle very well. Now, circle to your right. Yeah. Now, as we get more comfortable with this drill, we can start to speed up on the change of direction. Change direction. Good. Make sure as soon as you change direction that you move in the correct order, the proper order. If you start moving to your left, it's going to have to be the left foot that moves first. When you move to the right, it's going to have to be your right foot. Okay, change direction. Change direction. Make sure it's the correct order. Make sure it's that left foot that moves. Change direction. There you go. Very good. Now, if you have to slow it down, you can speed it up later. So make sure the feet move in the correct order. Change direction. Good. Make sure it's that left foot that goes first. Pushing off the back foot when you go to the left. Change. 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 All right, very good. Thank you, Shane. This has been the fundamental footwork of boxing. This is the foundation of boxing, having good footwork. Whenever you go into a very classic boxing gym, we're going to have you work footwork, footwork, footwork for many weeks before I even teach you how to punch. So you have to have your footwork down before you start anything else in boxing. You want to make sure that your feet move in the correct order, whether you're going forward or back, that you maintain the same distance between your feet, that you maintain the distance between your opponent, that you maintain the consistent angle. This is often referred to as the lost art of footwork. So often do fighters neglect to work on their footwork that it's considered a lost art. But we've been hearing that for a long time. Let's revive the art, work on your footwork, be dedicated. Every time you do your workout, start with the footwork. And when you practice that, we're going to move on to doing the basic punches of boxing. That concludes this lesson. Thank you for joining our videotape series on Ultimate Boxing. Remember, to be good at boxing, you've got to train regularly, train hard, and keep an open mind.